It's Kyrie. Like, oh, hey, when you just play basketball and it's just about the basketball and you're basketball happy. I mean, this is awesome what he's doing. It's a reminder of why I think so many people have been frustrated. And look, the frustration for him is well deserved. But when it's just basketball, it's awesome.
I had this coming up in a later award, but I'm delighted to do this now. I couldn't agree more. He was so much fun today. I've enjoyed watching his whole season. I think, especially when we do this for a living and it's easy, everything has to be you're either for somebody or against somebody. It's positive or negative. And every fan base, you hate my guy, or he likes our guy, so he's good. We were frustrated with Kyrie for all those years because he's such a unique talent. It's like, get your shit together. We want to just watch you play basketball and just be part of a winning team. And we don't want any of the baggage. Just be fun to watch, which is selfish because we're fans. But I think that's where all the frustration came from. Like when he played for the Celtics, that first 16, 17 games when they had the streak, he was incredibly fun to watch. Like we were all like, couldn't have been happier to have him on the team. Then the next year it was the opposite. And I think there's been such swings with him, but just fundamentally, the guy can do shit that no guard in the history of the league has been able to do. He is, to me, the most coordinated, left-handed, right-handed, I don't even know what his dominant side is kind of a guy out of anybody I've ever watched. There's no shot he can't make. There's no direction he can't go. I think he would be impossible to guard, and you can see why the other players really respect him. And I think what he's doing this year is what we always wanted to see. But I'd given up on it. Like, hadn't you? I never in a million years thought this was happening again with him.
No, because when he was a free agent, I mean, think about how bad the market was for him. Okay. Think how many teams are just going, I can't get into business with him. But if you're Dallas, you do what a lot of teams do, going, all right, I guess we'll just do the extension. And part of it is like, why is it that number? And it's like, well, if you bring him in at a lower number based on what the demand is for him, then you may have a problem. Like he actually got paid as insurance against like him bailing on a team again. So
yeah.
There's no part of me that's like, I don't like when this happens, when a guy plays well, then all of a sudden it's like, a guy's really overreacted. Like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Like, it was a consistent mess for a ton of years. And
he
then
had
you get to see it today.
Six straight years where something was funky or off or really horrible.
Right. So you see today, and granted, there was a couple things that happened in the game against Houston, which was a lot of fun. Thompson gets thrown out of the game for chucking an elbow at Maxi's throat. So now you're down a defender. Jalen Green, you get in foul trouble. So they ended up with Van Vliet on him. And then Houston matched Dallas by going small. Yeah. So it was a free-for-all. Luke is really exhausted. Fun. And then I think he was actually limping a bit there towards the end of the game. But it was all on Kyrie, where based on the lack of size and the defensive matchups and the lack of just everybody was exhausted because of what kind of grind this game was, to see him just be like, hey, Kyrie, you're going to have to like solve every possession. And he basically did. And it was just fun. Like if you like basketball, you're just going, okay, I don't care like what I think about him. I don't know that I'd want to give him a 3-year extension over $100 million. But today, and for so many games now with Dallas on this run, it's just been a fun reminder to be like, this is actually why we talked about you so much, because there's been frustration because you know how good you are.
I wonder if like just KD passing through his life was this thing that just sent him sideways for, even you think that last Celtics year when it was pretty obvious those guys were designing to play together, and that kind of screwed up. That was one of the things that screwed up the last Celtics year. Then the Brooklyn, COVID, the vaccine, James Harden, all the things that happened.
Well, the suspension's the one too, where you're just like, all right, go ahead.
He's only allowed to play home games. We're going.
No, away games.
Or away games. Yeah. But it's just like, now Durant's moved on, Kyrie moved on. And when he's playing next to an awesome player, it seems like it brings the best out of him. It's just the way, I don't know if he could be the focal point, the number one guy on a really good team, but when he's like the kind of the Robin who can come in and beat up some bad guys every once in a while, it seems like that's where we've seen him thrive the most. But I'm with you. It's been really fun to watch him play basketball. I'm just like, I like watching basketball. I like watching talented players. So if you're going to do well, great. More talented players for us.